Some new students of this music game love to start with multi-million-dollar company structures. And a lot of you all who watched my video from almost 2 years ago, how to build an LLC for music artists and record labels, love to attack that structure because it looks like the grand picture. So I rarely do this, but I got to read this, man. You have a problem because your ambition often falls prey to misinformation on the internet about what one truly needs to succeed. So with no prior experience running even a single member LLC or a DBA, you newcomers are diving into treacherous waters. So you look to the multi-million-dollar structure because it makes you feel confident and secure. While there's nothing wrong with feeling secure, it's crucial not to overwhelm yourself. So wasting time and resources on structures you're not ready for can delay the actual growth you're striving for. I had to write it and read it correctly because I didn't want to wing this and not screw it up for y'all. Now, I feel that you want to feel like a boss in the beginning, right? I get it. But I'm going to tell you, man, like running one LLC and scaling it is hard enough, let alone 2. This year, I was running 3 at one time. It became a headache. So let's jump into the Music Money Makeover show. I'm gonna show you how to grow this LLC the right way. Check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover show. I'm not gonna dibble and dabble. Let's skedaddle right on in. Okay, so we're back to business because I've been talking about content for the last couple weeks. Here we go. Level 1, the single member LLC. And this is to say, some of you all may be in a partnership. Either way, it's gonna operate the same way. But in most cases, more often than not, probably 92% of everybody who gets started in the 60-day record label course will be a single member LLC. So check it out. Start small and smart with a single member LLC. Point blank, period. This structure is your business nursery. It's where all operations from payroll to royalty collections live. You'll also house your copyrights for both your sound recordings and compositions here, manage your merchandise operations, design copyrights, touring contracts, and even small brand deals. It's the core structure, laying the foundation for your budding business. Now, before I get all these people in the comment section talking about, well, why would you put everything in one LLC in the beginning? That's not safe, is it? Nobody is checking for you in the beginning. Let me be clear. Even if you infringe on somebody's copyrights and the LLC owns it, it's not going to be enough for them to take you to court. So if they do take you to court, you'll probably end up in small claims copyright court for cases less than $10,000. And like I said, in many cases, unless you're that petty, you're really not going to court because to even file the paperwork is expensive for the person who has to do it if they don't have the money. So everything in a single member LLC is fine to start with. We're not ending everything here. We're just starting here. All right. And even in that video that I mentioned earlier, I did give the same disclaimer, but I'm doing it again so y'all got this. Level 2 is the S-Corp with $160,000 in gross money. This is when it's time. Once your company's gross income hits $160,000, you're ready to consistently pay yourself a reasonable salary. It's time for a change. The next step is to upgrade your LLC to an S-Corp. This not only provides better tax advantages, but allows for more intricate shareholder structures and enhanced credibility in the business world. Now, the only reason why I'm saying gross is because for most record labels, you're not going to really spend like, $120,000, of expenses in the beginning. But if you can make it here, which a lot of you all can make it here just off content alone, you will have enough room in the profit. This is gross, 160,000 gross. But you'll have enough room in the profit alone to actually pay a reasonable salary, which calls for the S-Corp. Because if you get in the S-Corp trying to not pay a reasonable salary, we're gonna have some problems. That's why the IRS has you set up as a single member LLC as a disregarded entity. You're not quite making enough money to pay yourself, but then if you are making, let's say, $80,000 in the actual S-Corp, you'll have enough write-offs so the tax burden or the tax bill isn't that expensive, so it doesn't really matter. It's not really going to matter until you can afford to pay yourself a reasonable salary. So trying to go S-Corp in the beginning doesn't make any sense at all. I don't even know why all these people talk about this on YouTube. It makes me wonder if they have even gotten to that point of making that much money, because you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary. Otherwise, the IRS gonna come knocking and be like, why are you doing this when you need to be back here paying self-employment taxes? What's the problem? Now we're going to audit. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's go to level 3 with this, or 2.5 with this sucker. A copyright holding company. Now, this is something I didn't mention over on that last video, but as money begins to flow, the next step is to mitigate risk. You'll want to transfer your copyrights, both music and merchandise designs, to a separate LLC. This copyright holding company shields your intellectual property. It separates the day-to-day operation of your music business from your precious copyrights. In this way, you secure your music creations, protecting them from any potential business losses. So this answers the cries that I heard on the first level. Well, don't put it all in one LLC. But it ain't valuable enough yet. The copyrights had to become valuable for you to minimize the risk and remove them and put them in a different company. Now, you can get as advanced as you want to at this point. You know what I mean? You can put the LLC, you can put the copyrights in the LLC and then put the LLC into a trust. You might not put the copyrights in the LLC at all. You might just go ahead and put them into a trust. But I ain't getting to that on this channel. You can learn about all that stuff and some other documents and things like that. I'm just getting you started. So I'm just telling you where things could go for you. The merch company. Level 3, your merchandise operations can bloom very quickly once you're established. And it might become your first hiring ground simply because you can make so much money off of the merch way faster than the music. So it's important to carve out a separate merch company. This independent entity will handle production, distribution, sales, and other facets of your merchandise business, allowing you to scale efficiently while keeping things organized. So this is where you want to separate things out, the operations of the merch, into another LLC. It probably will be an S-Corp LLC simply because it's making so much money, all right? And you got staff to pay and all of that. So you can go ahead and do that. Now, level 4 is the entertainment touring company. Once your touring business begins earning $1,500 to $2,000 per show consistently, you'll need to establish a dedicated entertainment company for shows. By doing so, you're essentially separating the potential liabilities associated with live performances from your recording and merchandise businesses. This separation helps mitigate potential legal and financial risks that can rise in the complex world of live performances. So check it out. Level 5, brand deals company. Optional. This is optional, but it would be cool if you could put this in an LLC or another business. Finally, there's the brand deals company. This entity is not necessary for everyone, but becomes important when dealing with high value brand partnerships. By creating a separate structure for these partnerships, you isolate the risk from your other business assets, keeping your core business protected. This structure only becomes necessary if the brand deal is significant enough to warrant extra protection and separation. You got that? Now, check it out. Bit of advice. Through these steps, you can gradually and effectively build your music business, managing risk while also setting the stage for growth and success. Remember, it's all about taking things one step at a time. Period, man. Like, if this is where you are starting, you got no business being back here with 5 LLCs. If you never run one, you're putting yourself in a position of some treacherous waters that you don't need to be in. And you're causing yourself a bunch of headache that you don't need. You're not going to be Def Jam Records tomorrow. Pump your brakes and drive slow, homie. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, isn't starting an LLC complicated and expensive? It might seem daunting at first, but starting an LLC is a straightforward process. It's actually pretty simple. The cost varies from state to state, but this is generally affordable, unless you live in California. I'm sorry to y'all. But remember, the initial investment is worthwhile for legal protection and credibility it offers to your business. Okay. Is it necessary to transition to an S-Corp when hitting $160,000 gross? Transitioning to an S-Corp is suggested at this point due to the potential tax benefits and flexibility in the ownership structure it provides. However, everyone's situation is unique. Always consult with a financial advisor or tax professional before making such decisions. I'll reiterate again. The $160,000 in gross will all depend on how much of the money you're actually spending on operations in the business to get the money deducted under the tax deductions. If you're pumping out $120,000 in expenses and you got $40,000 in profit left, the tax bill ain't gonna be that bad. You can stomach it. What is that, like $5,000-$6,000 in taxes? So roughly you go home with 34 racks. That's not bad. But when that tax bill reads $18,000, hey bro, you should have been in an S-Corp. You know what I mean? But if it's before that, like if you got $40,000 in profit or less, it ain't hurting you that bad, bro. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't. It's not until the money that you got to pay the IRS and the state be written off for the simple fact that you don't have enough money to spend to minimize that bill. All right. So usually, and we're just going off on a tangent here, you know, that $10,000 is going to be 30% of your whatever that amount is, right? Which is roughly $58,000, something like that, that you would have to spend $58,000 in total to decrease that $10,000 bill to zero. And, you know, you don't want to do that. And it's not even beneficial for some of you all who want to get the G-Wagon and all of that and no Section 179. It ain't even time for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, you can't even write. Man, I'm not even going to go into it. If you want to know, just book a call with me, man. Anyway, can I handle all these different businesses aspects by myself? While it's possible to manage these entities on your own, you can. You know, especially in the early stages, it can become complex as your business grows. But don't hesitate to hire professionals or delegate tasks to skilled team members. I'm just going to say that. After all, your primary focus should be on creating great music. Building a supportive team around you can help your business run smoothly while freeing up your time to do what you love. It can. This is why I created a 60-day record label course. It's the framework to establish your record label in a perfect 60-day sequence. Without you screwing up trying to do 5 LLCs at one time, we're going to learn how to set up your LLC and bank account flawlessly with some anonymity to keep the leakers, peekers, and lurchers out of your business. You only need one. And we're going to set up your records and publishing division to collect domestic and international publishing royalties without the middleman taking 15%. That 15% is expensive in the beginning. All right. And then we're going to utilize the contract templates to get you in the game right away, because how can you know how to play the game if you don't know what the game is played on via the contract? You got to know how to read this sucker, and you got to know what's inside of the contracts if you want to succeed in this game. Otherwise, you're going to end up bent over a desk. BMI, ASCAP, Sound Exchange, the MLC, Music Reports, the Harry Fox Agency, Luminate, All Music, ISRC.com, and music distributors are covered within this course, plus much, much more, and much more course materials inside. All right, let's develop your strategy. All right, book a call with me either before you start or after you start the course, because I want to see you win. So let me develop a strategy for you to win. Hopefully you're not too far in the beginning stages so that we can get you out of level 1 and get you into level 2 and get some money in your pocket. All right, grab the free stuff below if this is your first time watching the channel. But ultimately, getting this right, embarking on this journey armed with knowledge brings you numerous advantages. By applying this structured approach, you'll enhance the legal protection for both your operations and intellectual property. You'll gain better control over disparate aspects of your business, fostering financial and operational efficiency. The crucial act of separating different components of your business also helps to lower your overall risk profile. Plus, potential tax benefits can be realized when transitioning to an S-Corp structure at the right time. With these actions, you're setting the stage for an organized business structure that's primed for growth and success. But here's the downside. On the flip side, failure to adhere to this guidance could lead to several setbacks. Without separating the distinct areas of your business, you expose yourself to increased risk. A downfall in one aspect could impact all others. So you could miss out on significant tax advantages that proper business structuring can provide. So the absence of an organized approach can also lead to increased complexity and confusion, making it harder to manage your business operations effectively. Ultimately, this could hinder your journey to becoming a successful player in the music industry, which is something I don't want you to do. That's why I beg and plead y'all. Like, I know that video was really, really good, and it will be your ultimate picture one day. But in the beginning, you don't need all that, player. Like, just slow this thing down, homie. Now that you got kind of a step-by-step plan on what this is going to be, I'm going to need you to jump into the 60-day record label course right down below so you can structure this thing the right way from the beginning. It's the whole point of why I did it, because when I was doing this on YouTube, everybody was going every which way, calling me saying, hey, I got my parent company and I'm going to get all this set up and all this, and they got a dime in their pocket. I got to put the Southern twang on it. They ain't got a dime in their pocket. Anyway. You know, Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course right down below, grab the free stuff right down below, book a call right down below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.